While the court split 6-3, the justices divided the work in the writing of the opinion. The Chief Justice, joined by Justice Gorsuch and Justice Barrett, concluded in Part 2A2, the court has long expressed reluctance to read into ambiguous statutory text extraordinary delegation of Congress's powers. This question of ambiguous text was a serious point among the dissenters. Here, Justice Gorsuch and Barrett, along with Chief Justice Roberts, were reluctant to read into such text, especially when it comes to the delegation of congressional powers. These considerations apply with particular force where, as here, the purported delegation involves the core congressional power of the purse. Congressional practice confirms as much. When Congress has delegated its tariff powers, it has done so in explicit terms and subject to strict limits. Another topic of difference within the court was whether or not the power to tax is a core congressional power. I'll dig deeper into that question in the section on the non-delegation doctrine. Since the power to tax is inherently congressional, the president has a hurdle he must surpass. Accordingly, the president must point to clear congressional authorization to justify his extraordinary assertion of power. He cannot. And there's the rub. There is congressional authorization for the president to regulate commerce in emergency, but where is the authorization to impose tariff? The Chief Justice delivered the opinion of the court with respect to Part 2B, concluding, IEPA authorizes the president to investigate, block during the pending of an investigation, regulate, direct, and compel, nullify, void, prevent, or prohibit importation or exportation. Absent from this lengthy list of specific powers is any mention of tariffs or duties. Had Congress intended to convey this distinct and extraordinary power to impose tariffs, it would have done so expressly as it consistently has in other tariff statutes. IEPA delegates a fairly lengthy list of powers to the president in an emergency, but tariffs and duties are not among them. The president claims the power to regulate importation naturally includes the power to impose tariffs. But does that phrase fill the void of the missing language? The power to regulate importation does not fill that void. The term regulate, as ordinarily used, means to fix, establish, or control, to adjust by rule, method, or established mode, to direct by rule or restriction, to subject to governing principles or laws. That's from Black's Law Dictionary. Justices Kagan, Sotomayor, and Jackson agreed that IEPA does not authorize the president to impose taxes, although they differ on the question of whether the major questions doctrine in legislative history. However, I do not have space to delve into those questions here.